I'm Bruce.
I'm Ursula, and together we will show you how to approach intimacy and sex from a perspective of desire.
Helping you find the connection that you want in your way. Ursula, can you share something about what it's been like for you to feel that you've actually lost connection with that sexual desire?
Hmm.
Can you give us some examples?
I have two examples actually. In my mid 40s, I noticed my desire for sex declining, despite the fact that I was in a deeply loving marriage. And this hurt us both. Our culture and the entire medical system were telling us this is normal, this is to be expected, everybody goes through this, just accept it. And I totally bought into that until much later when I realized that it's absolute, utter nonsense. It's not the truth, it's a myth, and life doesn't have to be that way. And the other thing has to do with my ability to express my desire. I remember back my first high school crush, we kissed and hugged every chance we got. And all I really wanted was for him to get to second base. But I just couldn't ask for that. And it was so frustrating.
I'll bet.
Can you tell us how this program starts?
Absolutely. I'd be delighted to. This is a program about awakening your sexual desires. And of course, in order to awaken your sexual desires, you have to have some idea of what they are.
Mm.
And that implies some sort of a list. And to be real explicit, we're going to want that written down. Now, if you and I are like most people out there, we don't have a carefully written list expressing all of our sexual desires. So, first part of the program is to start out listing sexual desires. List a desire, list how we know that we will have achieved that desire and what our life will be like when that happens. Then we do a bunch of exercises that help us stimulate the imagination, go to different aspects of life and find, oh, yeah, there's a couple of desires there that aren't on my list. Oh, a couple over there. Yeah, I like that. Let's do this. Add this. Once we've created and filled up that list, we start looking for things. What's the desire underneath the desire? In other words, if you want this, is there a bigger, more core desire hidden underneath that that has to be fulfilled in order for this to happen? Often there is. We also have people go back over the list from time to time and look through it to sort out what are the really, really important core desires, because those are the ones we want to focus on, not the peripheral ones. Now, you've started creating a desire list, haven't you?
I have.
Right. Could you share a little bit of what's on your list as of today?
Sure. I want to want. I want to feel safe. I want to trust my partner. I want to be appreciated and that my partner show it. And these things have to be in place before I really have any desire for sex. I want to have my life organized, that I can have some me time, that I can relax. If I'm totally exhausted or stressed, I'm not interested in sex. I just want a nap. It's really important to me to know that when I share my vulnerability during sex, that that's of value to my partner. And the only way that I know that is when I believe in myself. When I know that I'm good enough. And I spent an awfully long time believing that I wasn't good enough. And I'm so glad that's behind me now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit more.
Okay. When we were designing this program, we realized that a list was absolutely necessary as a reference point to get started with. But desire, it turns out, is a fairly complicated thing. First, we have to be aware of the desire. We have to discover what it is we want. We have to give ourselves permission to want that. A lot of times that gets blocked. We have to give ourselves permission to find the inner strength to actually speak that desire out loud. One of your examples addressed that. We have to get to the point where we believe and know that, yeah, this desire is something I can actually achieve. And then there's the step of we have to actually do something, to take some sort of action, whether it's in our heads or out in the outer world, to move us towards fulfilling that desire. And every one of those steps has its own challenges, and just having a list just will not cut it. So, we created a secret weapon. And that secret weapon we call the inner reward system. And we start out by connecting or reconnecting your mind with your body, using that connection to create emotions, sensations that you can use as a reward system. And that reward system becomes positive, powerful, and motivating. And when all those pieces are in place and strong enough, that's when what you say to yourself, what you visualize, starts shifting your life from those areas where it's currently driven by, call it fear and obligation, to a life that's truly driven by desire. And if you want to know more,
You'll have to sign up to the program.
we're Bruce
And Ursula.
Keep
Wishing
you
you
a
desire-filled
desire-filled life.